The New York Jets ended up falling at home today. They went to 0-5 on the season, 0-3 at home, after a loss given to them by the hands of the Dallas Cowboys. The Jets in today's game, you look at some of the stats and you say, wow, Justin Fields, 32 for 46, 283 yards, 2 touchdowns. Breece Hall, wow, 14 carries for 113 yards. Garrett Wilson, wow, 6 catches, 71 yards, a touchdown. Mason Taylor, wow, 9 receptions, 67 yards. What's somewhat lost in all of this is Justin Fields was sacked 5 times. He had a total quarterback rating of 24.1. There was a lot of plays where you easily say Justin Fields, for some reason, is not using his athleticism to his top capabilities. He's not running the ball well. He's not positively impacting this team's chance to win. Breece Hall, over 100 yards. Wow. What's hidden in that is a fumble in the second quarter on a drive that was getting close to the end zone. It was the first real chance that the Jets had at scoring a touchdown in this game and keeping this from being a 20-plus point deficit at home by halftime. But he fumbles the ball. Garrett Wilson and Mason Taylor. What's hidden in it all is a lot of these receptions, especially for Mason Taylor. These came in garbage time. These came in moments, and a lot of Justin Fields' stats and a lot of Breece Hall's stats today, they came in garbage time when the ball game was pretty much already decided. Dallas, throughout this entire season, offensively has been able to rely on Javonte Williams, which I think has been a massive surprise. Ryan Flournoy stepped up. I don't know if it's Flournoy or Flournoy. 6 receptions for 114 yards. George Pickens had a great touchdown catch today. Jake Ferguson had 2 of them himself. And Dak Prescott led this offense to a 37-point day. This was an offense that at a certain point to end the first half had scored 3 touchdowns on 4 drives. And to end the game, they were able to they didn't even have to show a lot. They didn't even have to do a lot, and they were able to put up points. And this is a clear sign to me, I think. Dallas's offense, they're at a point where even if they get CeeDee Lamb back with a decent amount of the season left to go, and they get him back, and CeeDee Lamb and Pickens and Flournoy and Ferguson and Javonte Williams and Dak Prescott, if this whole offense is humming, and mind you, all of this came with basically the entire offensive line out. It was everybody besides, I believe, Terrence Steele. Everybody to the left of the right tackle was either a second or third stringer. And so that's a great sign as well, that not only was the offensive line able to help open up the running game. Javonte Williams, 135 rushing yards today on 16 carries. Not only were they able to help him to that, but the communication was there with Dak Prescott in a hostile environment, albeit it was at the Jets, and I don't think Jets fans really like the Jets right now. But albeit this still was in a hostile environment, they still were on the road. And he was able to have that communication at a pretty high level. The Jets did not impact Dak Prescott at all. They got him to the ground once for a 1-yard sack. Other than that, he was hit 2 other times. And so this Cowboys offensive line deserves a lot of credit. The coaching staff deserves a lot of credit for this win because they beat up on a team that they should have. And if you take out the fourth quarter, the Dallas Cowboys outscored the Jets 30-6. This was not a close game. This was not a 15-point game. This was an absolute bludgeoning of the New York Jets at the hands of the Dallas Cowboys. There's a few things that make you happy if you're a Jets fan, or if you're someone like me. You had Justin Fields or Breece Hall in your fantasy lineup, and at the third quarter mark, you're like, man, Justin Fields has 7 points for me. Breece Hall has like 12 points for me. And Brees Hall had that fumble in the second quarter. It was like, man, if he gets benched, this is going to be terrible because he was like the only guy offensively that was doing anything. And then he has a fumble, and then he doesn't play the rest of the first half. He gets benched, or however you want to phrase it. There was a possibility that he was hurt as well. You're like, man, if we don't see Brees Hall for the rest of this game, this is going to get ugly quickly because he was the guy that was doing something for the Jets. But he still turned out a solid performance, if you really want to call it that. Fantasy-wise, again, Brees Hall and Justin Fields, I have the same feeling about Justin Fields' fantasy performance as I do about the deficit of this game. This was not a 15-point game, and the day that Justin Fields had was not a 26-point fantasy performance. I don't know if that really makes sense, but to me it does. And I feel like if you're somebody that actually watched the game today, you agree that this was a bad performance by the Jets all the way through. The offensive line had penalty after penalty, whether it was false starts, snap infractions, holdings, ineligible man downfield. They did everything bad that you can do in a single football game, all in one game. This win brought the Dallas Cowboys to 2-2-1. They've been, honestly, of the teams that aren't leading the division or have a winning record, the Cowboys easily offensively have had the best performing team in the NFL among those teams that aren't, like I said, leading their division or in the playoffs as it currently stands. The Cowboys have averaged well over 20 points a game. They're actually probably more in the 30s per game, and that's including a 14-point performance that they had in Chicago. Next week, they go to Carolina on the road, and this will be a good game. Carolina put up, I believe, 27 points today, and they were able to take care of the Miami Dolphins at home. And so they have some momentum. It's going to be interesting to see if Dallas can continue the momentum in their own right, going to an environment that I think is going to be more anti-Cowboy than MetLife Stadium was today. Next up for the New York Jets, they have a long flight ahead of them going to London to play the Denver Broncos, a team who has a lot of momentum riding on their side as well. They go into this game against the New York Jets after having been the first team to beat the Philadelphia Eagles this year. They're at a point in their own season where it can go up or down. And this type of game where they have the New York Jets on their schedule, this is one where they can string together some wins. And the Jets, this has been a bad start to the year, to kind of say the least. This is a chance where it could get really, really ugly. I think they showed some sort of graphic today during the game where there's only been 3 coaches in New York Jets history to start 0-5. The last one was Adam Gase. I believe he finished, 2-12 or 2-14 if he made it through the entire season. So this is a tough start for the Aaron Glenn-led New York Jets. But if they get somehow a win against the Broncos next week, that could totally not turn around their season, because if you're at 1-5, you're not making the playoffs, you're not making a Super Bowl run. You're just trying to salvage the season. And a win in London against a good Denver team would put the Jets well on their way to doing that.